Age of Discovery. So in our last episode, we talked about the war between Korea allied with the Chinese with Japan. Toyotomi Hideyoshi died during that, and in this unit, we're going to talk about the scientific revolution. My most favorite revolution of the time. And the best, to be exact. And also, this is where we're gonna get the greatest minds and the rock stars of history. Well, not literally rock stars, but still. And they are Nicholas Copernicus, Galileo Galilei, and Sir Isaac Newton. So, hope you see you then. Well, let's get started. Why don't we start by looking at some notes? Hi guys, so I just want to honor the science subject because today we're going to talk about the scientific revolution, and science is my most favorite subject against the other subjects that are out there, except for, well, that's a part of it. So let's get started, and I also want to thank you, the scientific revolution, for happening. Let's get started. Alright, if you remember from our Martin Luther episode, you might know about the Catholic Church split into the Protestant. Well, they're still there. And now the Catholics are just winning an advantage over the Protestants. But while they were doing that, Catholics and the Protestants and the Christians in Europe are getting more interested in science. So they are starting to learn space. Oh, and also it's gonna be, our map today is gonna be different from the other maps that we've drawn from season 1. So back to our story. Alright, so long ago in the 1400s, before the 16th century, the 1500s, people saw that the Earth was the center of the universe. I mean, literally all the universe, right here. And also, other great minds who were very interested in science didn't like this idea. They opposed it. They instead, didn't think about the heliocentric system, but one guy, you might know him, Nicholas Copernicus. Nicholas Copernicus thought of the system. Nicholas Copernicus. Alright. This is his name right here. Nicholas Copernicus was a very good scientist, and well, he was originally a Polish priest working for the Catholic Church. But then he changed this guy name into a scientist. He would still work for the Catholic Church though. And then he gave his ideas of the solar system, the sun-centered, here it is. The sun-centered solar system that we know today, but they didn't really listen to much, and they didn't even listen to the sun until they read his scroll book. Well, here's one thing that's amazing about Copernicus. Before he died after he published his book. The first copy was put into his hands, and then he looked at it, smiled, read a sentence probably, and died happily. Well, I still say dying is bad, but he did die happily. That's an advantage. Alright, back to our story. When Copernicus was alive, there were a lot of great minds during that time that still believed in the geocentric system, and now he kind of gave up this heliocentric system. People thought that he was mad. Cuckoo! Of course, though. Because this idea was so new, and also just people, even the Catholic Church thought that he was crazy. Cuckoo! Of course. And this was because that a lot of people only believed the geocentric system, and the heliocentric system was against it. So people wouldn't like it. What would you have felt if you were living at the Copernicus' time and just believed the geocentric system, but just believed a little bit of the heliocentric system? Put your answers in the comments below or just email me directly. Alright, after Copernicus dies, a lot of great thinkers started to realize that Nicholas Copernicus's heliocentric system was correct. And one of them, you might know him as the famous Galileo Galilei. I just remember the song. Galileo Galilei. Hey, that kind of rhymes. Alright, so Galileo Galilei was one of the guys who found out that Nicholas Copernicus was right. And then also, he was a university professor who lived in Italy, Rome. Also, he was also part of the Catholic Church. Alright, Galileo Galilei also built a telescope. Well, he wasn't the first one to make the telescope, but he was the first one to make the modern telescope, like the ones we have seen today. Long ago, the telescopes had just black and white. Now he just made color vision. And also he made it up closer. And he used his telescope to see the moon and the other planets. And he discovered that the stars that we just think are stars, like how I used to think, are actually planets. Even the backward rotating stars. I'm not even kidding. And then also Galileo Galilei, well, people already knew that there were planets and that some of the stars were planets. But he discovered new discoveries. He even found that there are moons on other planets, just like our Earth. He also wrote that he also supported the heliocentric system. Heliocentric system. Oh, and also he found out about the sunspots. So what are sunspots? Well, sunspots are spots the same size as Earth on the sun that are solar storms. Kind of like our storms, lightning storms, but 5 times hotter. Galileo Galilei, dun dun dun. Oh yeah, and Galileo Galilei got a lot of problems with his local church, the Catholic Church. When they found out about Galileo Galilei's writing about and supporting Copernicus' theory, they weren't too happy. They even put him under house arrest and banned him from writing books about space and the universe. Galileo still wrote about space and the universe, though, but he never published them. Yeah, he rarely published a book. And he died while house arrest during his 9 years. One of the other minds who found that Nicholas Copernicus was right was, well, the famous Apple guy. Sir Isaac Newton. No, not my kindergarten school. Sir Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton. Why is this so hard to spell? Newton. Alright, Sir Isaac Newton was one of the greatest minds of history. And, well, he was from England, alright? He used English. And, well, he almost became a farmer while he was studying at this university, the most famous university of all, Cambridge University. After he got out of Cambridge University, he became a scientist and professor at the Cambridge University that he schooled at. While he was his career as a scientist, he found a lot of new scientific discoveries. Here are some of their few and most famous. And, well, there's Newton's 3 laws of motion. There's the law of gravity. If you know, like the story about the apple. Law of gravity, that's too important. No, I won't use red this time. I'll use blue. Law of gravity. And he also found out that every natural thing, except buildings and humans, are controlled by the same laws of nature. The whole universe is here. Law of nature.
책 이름이 뭐야?
He also published these kind of topics in a book called Principia. Yeah, well, there are a lot of books about it. Principia. Well, I'll just write it down. Just think of your head principal if you're at elementary school. Principia. Also, that is where he stated his 3 laws of motion. You might know them. Alright, the Principia expanding his theory of his knowledge, and also after a bit of experimenting, he was knighted. I mean, literally becoming a knight by Queen Elizabeth. Also, he became the head of a science club called the Royal Science Club. Well, that's it. And that club included the Albert Einstein himself. Well, more on that in extra history. Also, during the scientific revolution, there were a lot of advances and improvements to history and countries and the world. Since this happened in Europe, it highly improved the Europeans and the whole world's education, and also it advanced technology. I mean, literally. Also, it changed the way of people's vision of the universe from Earth-centered to Sun-centered. And a lot of other kind of visions. And, well, and this kind of made an advantage for Europe over other civilizations in all of the world. And also, what would come with the next revolution? Well, who knows? We might all be robots then. Well, I'll see you then. John, out, robot. Ding, 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 ding. You're done. Oh, it's you. Alright, let's get started on our writing for the day. And if you want to answer these questions, please answer them in the comments below or just email me. And my email, I'm going to share it at the end of the video. Alright, what did you learn about the scientific revolution? What are some ideas of the past that proved to be untrue in modern times? Alright, so let's get started. First question, what did you learn about scientific revolution? Well, I learned that the scientific revolution is a revolution that, started by, maybe by the Nicholas Copernicus, who opposed the geocentric system theory. I have to mark this. Here, I'll write it again if you just missed it. Geocentric system. Oops, there's no room for this. Well, I'll just write it here. System. And he made the heliocentric system. Helio means sun, if you're wondering. Heliocentric. I might make this T-like. Trick system. Alright. So this one is Copernicus' idea, and this is Catholic idea. Got it? Alright, another seer. And there are also Galileo and Sir Isaac Newton who supported Nicholas Copernicus' idea, and they are the 3 rock stars of history. Of course. Sir Isaac Newton was the most famous one of them all, and he made a law of gravity, the 3 laws of motion, and also he found out that the law of nature controls every natural thing in the universe, including the universe itself. Next question. Hey, get back to work, animator. Wait, I don't have animators. All right. What are some ideas of the past that prove to be untrue in modern times? What are some ideas of the past that prove to be untrue in modern times? Well, one of those are just right here. It's the geocentric system is wrong. It's thought to be true in the past, but then Copernicus, Galileo, and Sir Isaac Newton found proofs and found out that the sun, the heliocentric system, was true, even truer. This one was wrong, wronger, and this is true, truer. Got it? Well, that's just an example. And well, I'll see you in extra history. This is the end, and I'll see you then. Welcome to Extra History. This is the last Extra History of Season 3, The Age of Discovery. So let's kind of celebrate at the end here. So let's get started. Today's Extra History is going to be about the life of Sir Isaac Newton. And also about his little law of gravity and the law of motion, but more on that later. Right, Sir Isaac Newton was born in England, and when he was a teenager, he started enrolling at school at Cambridge University. And while he was studying in Cambridge University, his mother took him back out to school, and tried to take him as the traders of farmer. Traders of farmer. The school headmaster luckily was able to persuade Newton's mother to get Newton a better education. Not just a farmer. He needs education to be great as historian. Well, you know my point. Sir Isaac Newton became one of the greatest figureheads of history, and this wouldn't have happened if Sir Isaac was a farmer. He was the father of a farmer, right? And also, after he enrolled at Cambridge University, he enrolled there for 4 years. There was an ongoing pandemic, so the Cambridge University got closed. Kind of like our coronavirus pandemic previously. Well, Sir Isaac Newton was very, very, very cool. And here's why. First, he found out about what light is made of. So let's say that this is a prism, and this is white light. So when it goes through it, it gives out the colors red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and lastly, purple. The colors of the rainbow. Not surprising, to be exact. And when you put these colors back together, you get white light again. White light. See? Power of light. Good joke, Sharon. Alright, another one of his famous theories, as I said earlier in the explaining part of this video, is about his theory of gravity. Well, here's the story about how he got inspired by that. He was sitting under an apple tree writing in his diary, and then an apple conked him on the head. Ow! And then he slept a bit, and then he wondered why the apple just fell down. He asked his parents, but nobody knew, so he gave up with a decision. Another one is that his most famous one to me is the 3 laws of motion. Here, I'll explain them with some examples. The first law of motion states that an object at rest will stay at rest until another force pushes against it or forces against it. Like that, or this. And also, friction will completely stop it. This is friction. The second law of motion states that an object can be forced to, well, here's an example first. So let's say that this is a light kind of light per statue, and then I can just give it little force to move it. Well, let's say I got 3 of those light statues, and that makes a heavy statue. And so I try to push it with the same force with the light one that I just did, but instead of going as fast as that statue, it goes slower. That's because of weight. Mass and weight are different. I'm trying to make a video on that, but I ran out of money. Alright, and also, now let's get to our third law of motion. This says that when you do something to, like pushing on a wall or window, it gives off an equal amount of force that you pushed on it to you in the opposite direction. This also happens when you're swimming. If you ever went into swimming and tried swimming, you might feel the water pushing onto your skin and onto this part of your skin. Well, that's the third law of motion doing its job to keep you afloat and go forward. Oh, and also the most famous and most popular example of Newton's third law of motion are rockets. The fire gives off power and then it thrusts the rocket up into the other direction. Get it now? Yes. Now, yes. Now our next part of this, as Sir Isaac Newton became knighted later, but then he retired from knighthood, and then he became He became the headmaster of a club, which included the most famous Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein, E equals mc squared. Oops. Well, I mean really. While Sir Isaac was there, he had a lot of fun of doing science fairs and stuff. And also, when he died, he got his Principia with him. Well, that's my steal. Well, here's an example of Sir Isaac Newton liking his Principia book. Oh, and also I forgot to mention that he published a Principia. It was his book. And also, I think that when Sir Isaac Newton was about to die, he took the Principia book in his hand and died. Well, kind of like the Copernicus theory. This is just a joke. It's just my joke, alright? It's not real. And after Sir Isaac Newton died, after a few scientists got born and died again, the scientific revolution ended. And, well, here's the real reason why I like the scientific revolution. Why I like the scientific revolution is that I have a good passion of science and I want to be the greatest scientist in history ever to be known. Well, if I become that, I should be known as Shun the Magnificent. No. Shun the Scientist. well, anyways. I really have a good passion of chemistry, physics, biology, and, well, not very good at math, but still like it. And I might even be able to make quantum mechanics and change DNA and changing them back. But, well, that's another story. See you then. Shinhan, out. Oh, can I get a cup of cold coffee with that? Oh, and hot chocolate. Oh, it's you. Today, we learned about the scientific revolution. And this is the last episode of Season 3, The Age of Discovery. And now that it's the end, we're going to say bye-bye to the Age of Discovery and say hello to the Age of Imperialism. So, I'll see you then. Oh, and also, this video is sponsored by me, talking, and your host was me. The executive producers are done by me. These writing with these window crayons, as you saw in the video, is done by me. These maps, including the space map, is drawn by me. These notes is written, drawn, and, well, colored by me. And also the sources are the Age of Discovery book, and now we're gonna use the Age of Imperialism source, and let's see what it brings us. Why don't we have a little sneak peek? Here we're gonna learn about absolution, the American Revolution. If you're American, please tell me. The Revolution of Europe. The Napoleonic Wars. I always wanted to learn these. The American Civil War. Native Americans, British India, Age of Imperialism, Imperial Japan. We're going to talk about Japan again. And the beginning of modern China. Today's China. And for now, you can subscribe. You can support my channel by hitting the subscribe button, hitting the bell button so you wouldn't miss any of my videos, and also hit the like button and consider sharing this video with a lot of other people in your community or your family. And also, if I do ask a question, please enter them in the comments below, or just email me at my email 20 jur@naver.com. Hope I'll see you there. Oh, and also, let's not forget today's question. Today's question is, which solar system or Earth system is correct? Is it A, the geocentric system, B, the heliocentric system, C, the solar system, or D, the Earth system? See you then, and hand out.